Formatting. Formatting is all about the way something looks. So let's look at some formatting you might be interested in. One piece of formatting is if I insert a row above this and I want this to be a heading. I'm just going to type in heading for now, but I wanted it to appear over all these. Then I would highlight where I wanted it, and then I would go to this, which is merge cells. Now at the moment it goes to the right because it's text, but then if I go here and go center, it would center over all of that information. Equally, if I have a cell with a lot of information in it, it might look like it goes over more than one cell. It doesn't, it's still all held in that one cell there. What you need to do is go to this text wrapping symbol and wrap your text. It then appear to be in one cell and you can see it properly. Equally, what you can do is if you highlight all of a row or a column and you want them all to be a specific width, then if you change one but you've highlighted them all, it will change all of them to whatever width it was that you wanted. So there, some handy tips. When it comes to formatting, you can also do things like freeze pane. So say, for example, I always wanted to know the order date. If I click on here and I go to View, Freeze, and I can say which rows or columns I want to freeze. So I'm going to say everything up to column A because that's what I've selected. I could just say the first column, the first two columns. Oh, and it can't do that because I've selected a merged cell. So I'd have to actually, in this instance, just unmerge that. Yep. Okay. So. And now when I scroll across, that one line stays stationary. You can do that for headings as well. The other thing that people often talk about is something called conditional formatting. That means it highlighted when it meets a condition. So let's use this one here. So I'm going to highlight the area that I want to put the conditional format on. So it's all of that area. And can you see these haven't changed because I didn't highlight them to be the same size. So what I'm going to do in this area here is format, conditional formatting, and then I have different arrangements I can make. So I'm going to say if the cell text is exactly, and then I can write in what I'm looking for. So pencil, remember I put a capital, actually I should have done that. Then I can choose the color that I want it to be. So if it says pencil, I want it to go red, done. So now if I change this pen to pencil, it'll go red. And I find these a very useful technique if you want to look at how many people have said yes or no. You can, if this is hidden, if you go back into your format and look at your conditional formatting, you see it, and you can add another rule. So I might want a rule, but I don't want it in D7, so I'm going to select the range of cells I want it to be in here. So I want it to be this range. Okay, okay. And I want to say now if it is greater than 90, I want it to go green. Done. What I could also have done is go back to this one here, this one, and add another rule. Now again it says D30, I don't want it to be in D30, I want it to be that entire range. So what I would normally do is go and just highlight my range. So I can highlight all the way down there, and then I want to say okay, and this time I want to add a rule that says if it says binder, so it is exactly binder, then I want it to go purple. Done. So now I've got two rows in there, and if there's one rule that I didn't want, I can obviously bin it and it would go away. So that is conditional formatting. Next we're going to have a look at validation. There's two validations that I think are quite useful. Validation number one. So again, I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to say, actually, I'm just going to make sure I highlight the whole of that. And we would go into data, and then we go into data validation. You can do a list, but I'm not going to do a list. I'm going to say that the number has got to be between 1 and 100. Okay. And I can have validation text, so enter number between 1 and 100, or I can type, I don't know, you nutter, whatever you want in the netter. Whatever you want to type in there, you can. I'm going to save it, and it's going to show the warning. So if I now change this to 105, here, it's going to say it's invalid. If I go back to here, data and data validation, I actually showed warning, but I could reject the input. So when I save it now and I change this to 105, it's just not going to let me do it. It's have the message and it rejects the input. The other form of validation that you can do is a drop down list. So if you go to data validation, and a data from range, you can select your range. So in this example, I'm going to click on here and I'm going to select this will be my range. You see it says sheet 2 exclamation mark. That's how it distinguishes where it's getting the information from. And then that is the range of information it's going to select from whatever source. So I'm going to click on OK, save. So on this little one here, I've got yes, no, maybe. Now if I go to the little corner and get that symbol, I can replicate that down. So now I get yes, no, maybe in each of those boxes. So I can just pull that down and I can replicate it. So that's a nice little tool, another tool in data validation.